The cafe was almost empty that cold afternoon. The kind of gray day when the world outside feels distant and muffled, under a layer of quiet snow. Ethan sat alone near the window, his hands wrapped around a steaming cup of coffee he wasn't really drinking. He wasn't waiting for anyone, at least not anymore. His phone lay face down on the table beside an untouched slice of apple pie. He had come here every Thursday for the last 3 years, ever since she left. His wife Mia had loved this cafe. It was their place, their little world of warmth when everything else felt uncertain. But cancer doesn't care about places or promises. It had taken her away 2 winters ago, leaving behind an ache that no amount of coffee could fill. Ethan had stopped talking much after that. The cafe staff knew him as the quiet man who always sat by the window, staring out into nothing, tipping more than he should, leaving early when families started coming in for lunch. Today felt like just another one of those silent Thursdays, until she walked in. She looked lost at first, like she didn't belong there. Her coat was too thin for the weather, her boots worn, and there was a kind of tiredness in her eyes that even a stranger could notice. She was holding a small paper bag, clutching it like it was something precious. She looked around, saw the empty tables, but for some reason, her gaze stopped at Ethan. Maybe it was because he looked kind. Maybe because he was the only one not staring at a phone or laptop. Whatever it was, she hesitated for a second, then slowly approached. "Can I sit here?" she asked softly. Her voice trembled, like someone unused to asking for permission. Ethan looked up, startled out of his thoughts. There were other empty tables, many in fact, but something in her eyes, maybe the loneliness he recognized so well, made him nod. "Only if you eat too," he said gently, gesturing to the untouched pie in front of him. She blinked, confused at first, then gave a small, embarrassed smile. "I'm fine, thank you. I just needed a place to sit for a bit." Ethan shook his head. "No one sits here without eating. It's a rule," he said, a hint of warmth returning to his tone. She hesitated, then slowly sat down. Up close, Ethan could see she wasn't much younger than him. Maybe late 20s, but her face carried stories. There was something about her that reminded him of Mia. Maybe the quiet strength. The way she looked out the window before speaking, as if the words had to fight their way out. "You like apple pie?" he asked. She nodded faintly. "Haven't had it in a long time." He pushed the plate toward her. "Then this one's yours." She smiled shyly. "You don't even know me." Ethan shrugged. "You don't need to know someone to share a pie." That simple act, 2 strangers sharing warmth, on a cold day, set something in motion neither of them expected. As she took the first bite, tears welled up in her eyes. It's really good," she whispered. Ethan nodded, sipping. His coffee again. "It's my wife's favorite, or was." The word was hung heavy in the air. The woman looked down. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "You don't have to be," Ethan replied, eyes still on the snow outside. "It's life. It doesn't stop for anyone." For a while they sat in silence, the kind of silence that didn't need filling. After a few minutes, she finally spoke. "My name's Lily," she said. "Ethan," he replied simply. "Nice to meet you, Lily." "You come here often?" she asked, trying to lighten the mood. "Every Thursday," he said. It was our day. She didn't ask who hour was. She didn't need to. The way he looked at the window told her everything. She nodded quietly, finishing the last bite of pie. "Thank you," she said. I didn't realize how much I needed that." "Food or company?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "Both." Something softened in Ethan's chest, a feeling he hadn't allowed himself in years. It wasn't love, not yet, not even close. It was simply connection, the kind that reminded him he was still alive. As the afternoon faded, Lily stood up. "I should go. I have an interview nearby," she said. "Wish me luck?" Ethan smiled. "You don't need luck, Lily. You just need someone to believe in you." Her eyes glistened again. "Thank you. For the pie. And the seat," he nodded. "Come back next Thursday. I'll get 2 slices." She hesitated, then smiled genuinely for the first time. "Deal." She walked out into the snow, leaving Ethan staring at the door long after she'd gone. For the first time in years, the cafe didn't feel as empty. He looked down at the empty plate and thought to himself, maybe this Thursday wasn't just another one after all. Maybe it was the start of something new. The following Thursday, Ethan found himself arriving early. He had no idea if Lily would actually come back, but something about her had lingered with him all week. He found himself thinking about her paper bag, her nervous smile, her eyes that carried both pain and hope. It had been a long time since he cared whether someone showed up or not. He ordered 2 slices of pie and 2 coffees just in case. The cafe owner, an older woman named Helen who had known Ethan for years, raised an eyebrow. "Expecting company?" she teased gently. Ethan smiled, a rare expression for him. Maybe. The clock ticked, minutes passing slowly. The snow outside had started again, soft and light, dusting the world in white. Just when Ethan began to convince himself she wouldn't come, the bell over the door chimed. Lily stepped in, brushing snowflakes from her coat. She looked different, brighter somehow, though still carrying that quiet humility. You actually kept the promise, Ethan said, standing slightly. I said I would, she replied, smiling as she took off her gloves. And I got the job. Ethan's face lit up, about to give up. I'd lost my apartment, I hadn't eaten properly in days. That interview was my last chance. Your kindness gave me strength to walk in there with my head up. Ethan's chest tightened. He hadn't realized that one small act could mean so much. You don't owe me anything, Lily, he said. You just needed someone to see you. And you did, she said quietly, when no one else did. Over the next hour, they talked. Not just small talk, but real conversation. About loss, about dreams, about what it means to start over. Ethan told her about Mia, how they met, how she laughed, how she made this cafe their safe place. He admitted how much it still hurt. Lily listened, really listened, her eyes soft with understanding. She'd be proud you're still sitting here, she said finally. She'd be proud you didn't let your heart close forever. Something in those words touched a part of Ethan that had been frozen for too long. He realized that healing didn't mean forgetting, it meant learning to live again. When they left the cafe that evening, the city lights twinkled through the falling snow. Lily turned to him. You know, I think we both needed that table, she said. Maybe it wasn't just coincidence. Ethan smiled. Maybe it was a Thursday thing. Weeks passed. Their Thursday meetings became routine. Coffee, laughter, memories, and quiet moments of reflection. Lily's life began to change. She found stability, a small apartment, even started volunteering at a shelter. She said it reminded her of that first day, of what kindness can do. Ethan too began to heal in ways he didn't expect. He started to smile more, talk more, live more. The cafe staff noticed the change. Even Helen began saving their table by the window every week. One snowy evening months later, as they sat at that same table, Lily looked out the window and said, "Funny, isn't it? How one small act can change everything." Ethan nodded, following her gaze. "I used to think my story ended when Mia died," he said. "But now I think, maybe she sent you here to remind me it didn't." Lily looked at him, eyes glistening. Maybe she did. They didn't need to say more. The silence between them was warm now, filled with understanding and unspoken gratitude. As the cafe lights reflected on the glass, Ethan raised his cup. "To new Thursdays," he said. Lily smiled. "And to people who offer pie to strangers." They laughed, real, full laughter that filled the cafe and melted whatever cold was left inside either of them. As the story of Ethan and Lily spread quietly among the regulars, the cafe earned a reputation, not for its coffee or pastries, but for its warmth. People began coming not just to eat, but to connect. The Thursday table became a symbol of hope. Ethan and Lily never labeled what they had. It wasn't about love in the romantic sense, it was about healing, kindness, and human connection. But even deeper, a reminder that no one heals alone and no kindness ever goes unnoticed. And so, if you ever feel lost, alone, or unseen, remember this story. Remember Ethan and Lily, because sometimes, all it takes is one small act, a seat at a table, a shared meal, a kind word, to change someone's entire world.